Good morning, everyone. It's another daily dose. I'm starting this one after my live stream, so when I left early, it's because I want to get started on this. We're going to build out this space for summer tubbing outside. You can see the sun setting behind me here. And so these will get a lot of sun exposure, which is going to make them pretty hot, but I'm also going to do things, I think, to keep them hot in the winter. Like, I want to extend the season as long as I can, and I think it might be easier for me to battle heat than it is cold. And so I'm thinking, even if it gets the sunlight, these are kind of already a dark color, it's going to help. So here's the plan. I was going to plan on building out like a 4x4 pressure treated all the way up to about 2 feet, right? These are about 30 inches, I think. So these are a little bit taller than what I was thinking. Let me get the tape measure out here. Oh, one-handed shooting, horrible. All right, here we go. Oh no, they're right about 2 feet, so it's perfect. So we're at about, 25 inches, 26 inches. And so I was going to build, the stupid thing is, I was basically going to build this. That's what I was putting together, I'm measuring, and I'm going, it doesn't seem like it's that far off. So I was going to do this. So I was going to do 2 feet wide, which these are 30 inches wide, but I was going to be 2 feet wide. And then I was gonna not go all the way to the wall, so I was gonna go, okay, well, let's give it a little bit of a gap there. And so it was basically gonna be almost 4 feet by 2 feet. And this essentially is 5 feet by 30 inches. And so what I'm thinking now, instead, I just line these up. And these are 100-gallon totes, and they run about $75, $80. And then I'm just gonna build something so they look nice, like a piece of wood, like a wall or something. Like, actually, I want a bench. I kind of want like a wicked cool bench where I could put my knees onto it, dig in the pond, do stuff. But I want it to look nice. That's what I do know. So I want to figure out a way to make it look nice. I'm gonna line up another tote next to it and see how that looks, and then start planning. So I'm gonna go grab another tote and see what I can make sense of. Well, here you go. I've got 3 totes set up. Well, not set up, but in place. And this is what I'm talking about. I want to prevent it looking bad down in between them. And then, I don't know if I can do anything really that makes sense back here. Like, weeds shouldn't grow, but I'm trying to think how to make it look good. Like some, I don't know, it can't be a deck. Well, maybe it is a wood deck. Maybe it is a wood deck. Yeah, if I put like a big, not big, but like a 2x10 or something along the back here, and that just like secured it all, that might make some sense. And then just have each 100-gallon tote like this, and might have to do some leveling. I don't really want to, but gotta fill them with water and see how they level out. I think they're gonna level out pretty good though. But yeah, I might just do the 3 of them, because I think I'm going to have a spigot put like right where that black hole is. And then once that's put in, I could leave a gap, and then I could put, more in if I need to. But that would give me 3, plus I could utilize clothesline drying some stuff since it's hot and sunny out, save the environment. But then I could use some of these as well out here. And the goal, by the way, is throughout the winter and the summer. So I've already got this pipe put through my house here, right there. And what that is just a pass through. If you remember in the way back videos, we were using a solar hot air collector that killed my grass over here because I let it sit there for so long. But we got rid of that, and the grass will come back eventually. But right here, this is where the solar air collector was. And so that pipe was already being used. We already put the hole through the house to do that. But what I want to be able to do is run some air lines out. So we run out, boom, come out. And then I want to drop air stones or sponge filters into each one of these, right? And then they'll run off of air. And during the winter, we'll be pumping in warm air from the fish room in here, which will be good. And all we got to do is tap in right up here. And what I haven't decided yet, this is something I can't decide. In theory, I could plumb it so that my wastewater my wastewater line comes out right here. And right now, what I kind of want to do is take this line and shoot it all the way down, and then underground and into the garden, right over there, boom, garden. But I could also just put it into these, and these would be auto water changing. But in the winter, I just would turn it off in the winter so they wouldn't auto water change. But somehow I'm uneasy about that. I'm like, if any fish in the fish room gets sick, what are the odds that a little bit of that water carries it? There could be, there shouldn't be any contamination from fish, because like if they were ever to make it that far, they wouldn't make it through the pump. So I don't know, I'm uneasy with that. But basically I'm okay with water or air for now. Get warm air going through, and then I want to build tops. That's the important part. I want tops for all of this. And yeah, I don't know what top yet, but I'm thinking I could even bolt down to this, like bolt it down so wind couldn't do anything, bolt all the way across, and then have a clear see-through one in the front so it lets light in. So like right now at 7 o'clock at night or whatever time it is, they'd be getting some sunlight, and then put a hinge so that it can open up and close. That's what I'm thinking. But now I gotta go sit down and basically eat dinner with my wife. And the whole time I'll be thinking about how do I want to dress this up, because the goal is, if we walk back here, I get out of the sun a little bit, the goal is so that this view doesn't look absolutely terrible. That's the goal. Like obviously this bin has to go, that's got to go, but if I was to, because I could even use the wood that's already down below there, I could use that as part of the, no, it's not going to work. That's why that won't work. I was like, oh, it's so easy. It's not gonna work because this lip sticks out further. See? Won't work. My wood would be like this. That ain't gonna work. So I need to build like a, I don't know, it's almost like a fence or something, and then fill this in right here, which I don't know if I have carpentry skills to like cut wood out, so I need to figure out how I would do that. But that's what I'm thinking, especially if I could build a bench or something. A bench, to sit down out here would be a good addition, in addition to hiding that. So maybe I will Google how to build a bench out of like plywood and 4x4 and then dress up one of these ponds. I'm going to Google that too. Google's always the first step, and then I try to take an idea or two from what I see in Google, see if I can apply it to me. And then I got to think long term. I'm thinking test pilot this project. If it works great, I could line my entire like wall over there with them, and that'd be like a next year thing, because I desperately want a lot of them, like a lot of vessels to try fish. The problem I'm running into is that building small containers are expensive, and bigger containers are the same price. So I've got some space, so we'll see what I can pull off and make it work. So I'll chime in the morning when I start on this project. Alright, it's the next day. I want to get working on those ponds. First I'm going to work on the koi pond and shoot another video. It's a daily dose, right? So you guys get to see all what I do in a day. So even though I want to get those ponds done, I got to work on my actual koi pond out there, which you can't see. And I want to teach you guys about the filter I've fallen in love with. They don't pay me to do this or anything like that. I just like to bring you a good product when I think it's like actually good. So I'm going to shoot that video, and you guys will see that coming out at some point. And it's going to be on the Laguna pressure flow 4000. Basically it's supposed to handle a 4,000 gallon pond. This is actually the one I'm going to install in the 800 gallon tank, but we got to use it as a prop because there's one in the box, but I want to show people what it is and then show how you back flush it and all that kind of stuff, because I just think it's super cool. So I'm going to go shoot that video. Alright, so I'm back outside and taking a look at these ponds, figuring out what I'm going to do today. I already got word that I'm going to have stuff delivered, so what that means is like my black PVC showing up, the builder's going to show up with parts for my 800 gallons, so hopefully I'll be able to get this finished today. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but what I'm thinking is basically use this sunlight panel, which you guys have seen me use this before. It's what my aquarium tops are and things like that, but that will cover the front half, so that way fish can't jump, we can keep raccoons out if we need to, all these types of things. Won't get bugs in there, which I do like the bugs to get inside, but I'm thinking I want some kind of system where it props up, and so it can let things in during the summer and cool off, and then during the winter it lays down. And it fixes some of the problem too, right? Like I was worried, like, oh man, what about all these gaps here that are going to look bad? Well, once this gets dust and water and stuff like that on it from just being in the weather, that's going to be a non-issue, I think. So now my task becomes, I believe, I put 2 of these panels on there, one in front, one in back, and then I put the back as like a piece of wood, and then I need to make it so that when a storm hits and when, you know, even the summer, winter, whatever, this isn't just go flying off, right? So I got to figure out a way to either build a hinge or you know, secure it somehow. In a perfect world, maybe like a giant bungee cord. Does that make sense? You know, bungee like from here. This is a big, you know, thick part. Bungee. I bet you a bungee cord would work. As ghetto as that is, that would probably work pretty good. And then you can put one on the back as well, like right here. So 2 bungee cords. This thing might be like buttoned up, ready to go. And then I put a piece of wood back here, and I can screw that one down. Like I could screw down the wood if I needed to. But yeah, so it looks like I need to go buy another panel and a piece of wood. I gotta do some measuring, figure what that's gonna be. And then, ooh, my builder showed up, so interrupted and gotta work on that project. So now we're working on installing the top piece of plywood, and this is plywood up here that's been edge banded and laminate all the way around, so it's nice and black. It's going to blend in, as you can see. It's not just like particle board. Normally you see particle board that's been edge banded. This is actual plywood, and we're putting on the feet there so it won't move. The sump, well, the above tank sump is right here, and the drawer is going to pull out. It's got my drip tray. We lay in the pad, filters out all the fines. Small little area for bio balls and stuff like that, but it's going to sit right on top, up there, right corner. So for now, we're going to keep working, so he probably needs a hand, or at least input. It's always harder to work when you're on camera, so I'm going to put it down. Alright, well the builder left, we got a lot of work done, need a lot more work to do. It's probably about 1 o'clock now, let me see, 1:10. It's 1:10. Now, this is how you guys can see my life. Do I like finish this 800-gallon tank and get water flowing, and that seems like amazing, right? Like I should totally do that because that is awesome, which, you know, that's one option. Or I can go outside and I can do the ponds. I'm going to try and do a little bit of both, but I don't think I can plumb that and build out here. I can get these filled with water at least, though. But that's where I have trouble. If I don't get started on a project, it just won't get done. And so you can see here, this is all the plywood that's been laminated. And it's pretty cool because all you got to do is you grab one. They got crazy strong magnets here. Let me show you. Ooh. So it's got the ledge on the bottom that was built in, and these crazy strong magnets, and so I can get in there and then just put it back in place. It just snaps in with the magnets. So, and the sides come off the same way, you know, so you can come over here, and if I want to get to the side for any filtration or anything, boom, there it is. Put it right back in. And we had it made so it comes up a bit, so it covers the seam. You can see outside here, it's going to cover up the seam, the acrylic. So yeah, I gotta wipe it down. We've got a graphic to put on here. I've got to move the sump up above. We've got the sump right here. We've got the 2 drains that we're putting in, and we've got the water coming up top. The drip tray is gonna sit here, so the drip tray is right over here. And so you put the fine polishing pad in here. This sits, it's a real tight fit there. Sits inside like a drawer, and you just pull it in and out. Obviously the water comes in, goes through the drip tray. We're gonna have bio balls down here, and then out it goes into these, like real easy. So, but nevertheless, still a lot of plumbing to get done. Had to make a hardware trip store. Always, I needed a certain size drill bit, And we got it drilled out up there. And so now it's just fitting a bunch of stuff together to actually get it running. I still need my black PVC parts to show up, and that hasn't happened yet. So, you know, they're supposed to arrive today at this point, but I'm getting hungry because it's been hours since I've eaten breakfast, which is at 8 a.m. So it's been like 5 hours. Thinking a little bit of food and starting to fill some water is the steps I'm going to take next. So on we go with the day. So it's 4:18. You're going, where'd the time go? Well, at lunch we discovered that our credit card, our personal card, not our business card, had been stolen, and that someone bought stuff, and so had to get the card canceled, had to call around a bunch. Turns out the person like lives in our city, and so now we're filing a police report. I got to print out like a credit card statement, those types of things, and provide a statement to the police. Then maybe I can get back to building. It's never ending, I swear. This is my struggle every day. I mean, obviously not like my credit card gets stolen, but it's always something. Always, you know, it's always like, oh yeah, of course. Let me get rid of that. Let me do that. So, doing that. I've got water filling in that pond right now because even if I overfill it, I'd rather that than not get water in these things today. So I'm working on it. So while waiting for water to fill on the ponds outside, I'm going to make the grating for bioballs to sit on. Now, if you guys have never done this or don't know how it's done, basically you cut a piece to size, and it's going to sit on that bottom shelf down there, on this one down here. So I need to cut this down, obviously, to be able to fit. So I'm going to go do that, hop it up on the table saw, make a quick cut, and we'll come back here and install it. So here we go. We have got our tray in. Looks like it's propped up on the corner over here a little bit. There we go. Tray is in. So now I can put some bio balls in there, and I'm pretty much ready to rock and roll on this thing. So, working on it, filling water. So we're filling the last coat, and I moved my thermometer over here from the koi pond so I can see what temp the ponds are. This is horrible. I can't even. Oh, there we go. 60 degrees. So, gonna have to let them warm up, obviously. I knew that. I just want to know where we're starting from and how many days it's gonna take. And maybe I'll chime in tomorrow. I gotta work a bunch tomorrow around the house, around the fish room here. So, starting at 60. Let's see how much it warms up by tomorrow. The sun's on it, you know. I mean, the sun's setting, obviously. So now all my work's gonna be inside at this point. And you know, really, I'll tear into the 800 gallon once I give my statement to the officer. But until then, kind of drooling around, planning. Alright, we're going to see if we can install this 2-inch bulkhead into that hole without falling in and dying. So, enjoy the groove. So here's what I've built. Basically we have 2-inch ABS, goes into the bulkhead. Then we've got a standpipe here that we can always change based on how high I want the water level. What's going to happen is I'm going to glue it into the sleeve that's right there, and it's screwed in. So in theory, glue it in, then I can unscrew it if I ever need to take it out. Now, there's a couple features that I really do like. We're going to glue this all together, but this top piece, this is, you know, I've seen this done in reef tanks way long time ago, but I've got a sleeve. This usually connects 2 pieces of pipe, right? This is on top. Why? This. What is this, you ask? This is going to keep clown loaches and stuff or other fish from going down the overflow. And so, it's just a sleeve, and I use some egg crate, and we fit that in there just perfect. And because there's the ridge on the inside, let me try and show you that. You see that ridge right here? This will set on that, and we now have a screen that'll keep large fish or anything like that, loaches, from going, what's in here? Oh no! So yeah, gonna glue that up and get it installed. So whenever you're working with ABS glue and stuff like that, make sure you have some paper towels handy, because if you drop this onto acrylic, you're gonna be very, very sad. It's gonna start melting away. Or at least it can with some of the PVC glues and stuff, so it's better just to work over this. Not gonna stain your clothes, that type of stuff. Now I just gotta glue this in, like I glue all these pieces together first. But I'm on it. So let this be a do as I say, not as I do. So you can see here, there's spots of it, and I'm like, okay, I can do this without putting towels down, except there's a drip right there. And it's way too far, I can't touch it. So, just gonna have to dry there. It'll be fine. But you can imagine, had that dripped on the front, it would have made a mark that would have been horrible. So on the bottom, we covered up by substrate, it's gonna be a non-issue. But that's definitely the case of do as I say, not as I do, because I'm a moron. But back to work. Now we got to work on plumbing the back of this thing. We got to tie it into the drain down there, which I can do, I think. Now I just got to put my brain to it. So here we are. Parts I've been waiting for showed up. Got black PVC elbows and black PVC. That is to make the intakes, the outputs, the pipe coming down into the tank itself from the sump up there. But earlier today I realized I don't know if they make this part, but I need it, so I gotta figure it out. I grabbed it and I was like, oh, that's gonna be white. You know, I've got gray, nothing I can do about the gray. It only comes in gray. But this, they might make this in black. If I can order that in black, I will. Which is going to delay me a little bit more, but you know, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see it. But imagine it's staring at me in the face forever. So I don't know. I'm going to see if I can order it, and if I can, I will. And then hopefully I can like overnight it or something like that. But I ordered these from. I'll put the link down in the description and in the comments. But black PVC, it's like my new favorite thing. I want everything to be black PVC. You can imagine. Even if like that was black PVC and that right there, like it blends in so much better. So I'm glad. It's expensive. There's no doubt it's expensive, but on a big build like this, I think it's gonna be rad. But let me go see if I can order the parts I need, which is 1-inch thread to slip fit, or they might make this in slip to slip. I could order one of those. So I'm gonna set the camera down and go see. All right, it's after 7 now. Met with the officers, made my case or statement or whatever that is. Then I had an awesome thing show up. What is this, you ask? This is the newest Logitech camera that is for live streaming. It's the 4K version. We're not going to stream in 4K, but supposedly you can do bells and whistles and dance at 1080 that other things can't do. So knowing that Jimmy's coming, I was going to need a second camera anyway, in case we want to both be on camera and do things and swap between views and, you know, do his magical magics. So I bought this thing. It's like $200. Hopefully it's awesome, because if it's not, I'll be super disappointed. But I need another camera anyway. And so got that. What else? I got those parts ordered. So we were talking just before about how I need those parts. Got them ordered. I ordered the black PVC parts that screw in. Perfect. And so I'm going to focus on getting the drain done now, because if I can get the drain done, then I can work on filling it. And if I can fill it, then I can put some filtration on it, even though I'm waiting on parts to show up. They're being shipped priority, which is good. So that probably means 3 days from now I'll have the parts and I can finish plumbing in the sump. But for now, I can put like one of the hang-on backs on or something and get water going and get substrate in, and you know, there's things that gotta happen. So I also gotta rescue a spider. Yeah, there's a spider stuck in here. I think I'm gonna have to vacuum it out because I can get in there, but it's way down there, and it crawled in, and it's not getting back out, I don't think, without some help. So, all right, I'm gonna get to plumbing. Whoa, light. All right, I decided if you guys have stuck around all the way through this boring day, you deserve to be on the insider track. So what I'm about to show you, don't put in the comments, stuff like that. Only if you watch this entire episode should you know. And so here it is. Check it out. It's my latest Maboo puffer, hiding out in the weeds back here. No name yet, but I brought it home just a couple days ago. As you can see, like this tank used to have a lot of snails, still has some snails, but it's been on snail munching duty. And you can see it's got a belly on it. And so yeah, that's the latest. But don't go blabbing in the comments, because it's a perk of watching this boring video all the way to here. You'll know, and no one else will know yet. So, alright, back to plumbing for real. So I am going to start plumbing, but I decided to take a piece of tape off that was back here. And I've realized Jason at CFI is amazing. Every edge here has been sanded. Like every edge on this thing, so I can't get cut. If you just look, it's amazing. Every edge. And I had to show that because every edge has been done, which is insane to me. This is the sump. Like, this is not the tank. This is the sump. And yeah, there's like gunk on here from, from making it. But this thing, like, no one's going to see this. And yet the attention to detail is amazing. For me anyway. You know, perfect holes, like, I don't know, I guess I'm just blown away, and I just had to point that out. Whenever I'm blown away, I'm like, man, I can't believe this guy literally rounded every edge for something that I'm gonna see once a month and touch once a month. So anyway, now I really am plumbing. Super stoked. Thank you, Jason, if you're watching this. And yeah, I'm having fun plumbing. Well, it's 7:45, and we've got piping coming out. Goes down. Yeah, it's a little dark. I don't know if you can see that, but at 90s, and we travel, boom, through the wall. In theory, I have water draining. In theory. Now, I gotta bring some water through this hole right here. And we go back to this aquarium, and we fill it. In theory, right? Let's get to it. Let's see if I can make this happen.
12 seconds later.
I have to go to the hardware store. It's 8 o'clock. Luckily Lowe's doesn't close till 10. Perfect. So I'm going to jam down there, and I need a 1-inch to 3/4 bushing so that I can put in my adapter, so I can screw on my hose, so that I can screw it onto here, so that I can fill it with water tonight. Because otherwise I gotta go to the hardware store tomorrow and I just delay everything. So to the hardware store we go. The sun is setting. I'm on my way home with my parts. Another beautiful day in the books, and I'm bound and determined to get some water flowing. Well, I'm back. You see what that is right there? That's flowing water. We got it working. I'm gonna see how filled it gets in 30 minutes. So I've got the timer set on the auto water change currently at 30 minutes. We'll see how high it gets. And then I'll chime in there and you can see how long it's going to take to fill. But the little bit of crud that's left in there, it's going to run to the overflow and everything once we get it all the way full. And I've got some stuff to do. So yeah, I'm going to wrap tonight up. In fact, you can see how long it takes to fill on the next one, because I got to upload this footage for Jimmy, and I got stuff to do and questions to answer in the email. So hopefully it wasn't too long and boring, but I feel like I got a lot done, and yet not everything done either. So yeah, water's going in. Maybe the next daily dose is substrate, setting up some more filtration, waiting on a couple of parts, 2 or 3 more days, and this piece is ready to go. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.